Yeah, the scripture the brother's about to bring out is basically talking about how we basically, change, how we try to, assimilate and change our ways to be like our oppressor.
Kind. To seek love. Why? Because if you trying to be like your oppressor, that means you're trying to seek their love, their approval, so to speak. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and 33. It says, "Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways." All right. So let's talk about you taught the wicked ones your ways. Like, yo, we've been reading all day, man. Okay. From when we was over there in the park to right now where we at the place of the massacre. All right. About we taught them our ways. Because how would they be able to know that we were Israelites, man? I'm talking about the Native American Indians because I'm a Gadite. How would they be able to know that Gad was a Israelite? Why? They looked at our ways. They studied them, man. And what did they do with the brother just read? They trimmed them, man. To seek love from their enemy, man.
It says, as time passed, the Conestogas adopted the customs of many of their neighbors and increasingly looked much like them.
Right.
They abandoned native clothing. They built cabins of wood planks covered with bark.
And that's where you get them stringy hair Indians at, man. With the long stringy hair. You know, they wanted to look like their oppressor, man. You know? Building log cabins. We had teepees, man, huts. They ain't have log cabins. The log cabins came from the so-called white man. All right? Go ahead.
It says they hunted with imported guns and cooked in iron pots.
Right. So damn, that's trimming your ways, trying to be like them. When we used to kill the animals, all right, and this is why our people got massacred right here where we standing at, man. All right, trying to be like these other nations, trying to be like your oppressor. All right, and if you try to be like your oppressor, guess what else you going to do? Besides trying to use his blessing, which is the sword, cooking like it. Guess what? Eventually you're going to serve his gods, man. All right? Go ahead, man.
It says many converted to Christianity, at least superficially, after encounters with the Catholic ministries on journeys north to Iroquois country.
And that's what I just said, man. Eventually, you're going to start serving his gods, man. All right? And that's what they did. So when you serving a heathen's god, okay? When you serving a heathen's god, that means that you turn your back on your power, on your God, man, which is the God of Israel, man. Yahweh is the Father's name, and Yahweh Shah is the Son's name, man. So that's why these people got murdered right here, man. All right.
It says, although called Conestogas, they actually represented several refugee Indian groups, including Senecas. Most spoke English.
And guess what? They started learning the language of their oppressor, man. All right. They wasn't speaking English when they first came over here. All right. They escaped from over there too. The only difference is they ain't come on cargo slave ships. They were already here when the so-called white man got here. All right? But they didn't speak English. They spoke broken Hebrew, man. Broken Hebrew. That's what they spoke. All right?
Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Right.
And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
That's right. And their own shepherds pity them not. So who are their shepherds? That's the men that, like you would say, like a pastor or men that's over. All right. So who is their oppressors that slayed them? The so-called white man slayed the Indians right here. All right. That's their oppressors. And they pity themselves not. Why? Because they don't feel guilty about it. You know, and right now we're in Lancaster, all right, but you have the Amish people, which is an article. I'm going to get there a little later, but the Amish people were talking about they felt bad about, what they did to the Native American Indians, so they asked for their apology. And you know what? These sucker Indians, man, these Gadites, they forgave them, man. So y'all just like the Baptist church too, man. You know?
It says, the Conestogas were no longer free roamers. The Mennonites and Quakers had converted most of their old hunting territory into farmland. So the Indians tended vegetable gardens and fished in a nearby stream. They wove brooms and baskets to sell to their neighbors and on the market in the borough of Lancaster, 8 miles to the east. Their other strategies failed. They went begging from farm to farm or to Pennsylvania's government in Philadelphia.
Damn. So that's where we Watchmen Philadelphia camp. We came from Philadelphia out here to Lancaster. All right. So they went begging from farm to farm or to Philadelphia to the government. So what's that look like, man? All right. Matter of fact, yeah, bring that out. All right.
Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Well, yeah, we read that earlier, Salakia. I want another one. The one in Deuteronomy, let's check it out. Go to the one of all things. You know what I'm talking about? 68. Yeah, because that,
Remember that church we just talking about? This is talking about.
all right, cool. So they had to go to the government for what? For food. Why? Because you were jacked up. You sold your land. What's that under? That's one of the curses. Well, you basically got finessed out of your land, man. Or bamboozled out of your land. You know. So now you had to come from Lancaster to go to Philadelphia, which is in the car is what?
70 miles.
Yeah, 70 miles. So imagine you on a horse riding there, or you have to travel by foot. Yeah, you're going to take days, man. Because in the car, it took us, what, about 2 hours? 2 hours to get out here, man? So that's not no short trip, man. You know? That's not a short trip at all, man. So they went all the way down there to the government, which that you going down there to get your access card, man. Go ahead, Art.
Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
There you go.
And in thirst.
That's right. So what they do, they went because they was hungry, they was thirsty. Go ahead.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness, because they probably needed some clothes. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things, man. All right, and want of all things, because they went begging from farm to farm. So that land was yours, but you sold it, and the person that bought it was the so-called white man, and they like, oh, this is mine now. You better get yours. What's that saying? Get yours, I got mine. You know. So that's how they treated those people, man. You know. We out here teaching the Bible. All right. So the nigga woman, man. You see us holding books, what the all right, I'm gonna stay spiritual. But yeah, so that was a curse. They had to go on one for all things, man. All right? That's what they had to do. Okay? Go ahead, so you can't tell me that these people aren't Israelites, man.
In 1763, only 20 people lived in Indiantown. On December 13th, many had traveled several miles from home to peddle their woven wares, fearing they would be caught outside in a heavy snow if they tried to return. Most stayed overnight with a Mennonite farmer at a nearby ironworks. So on the morning of December 14th, only 7 people slept in the village. Many of these sleepers went by 2 names. Then I'm just gonna skip it. It lists their names and all that stuff in English.
So ain't that one the lights of Dangle? Let's say you should cross it as a window. Which one is that?
20. I think it is. says Shihayez was so old, some said that he had met with William Penn at the treaty session that had established Conestoga in 1701.
He was a guy that, wow.
Shahays had been the tribe's chief in the late 1750s, and he had attended treaty sessions.
Damn, so guess what? And like we said before, that's how they got taken over. They got finesse out of their land, man. All right? And this was a chief Indian, a chief guy, so he was at the top. So what you do, you went, and the same thing they doing right now, man. Okay? The same thing they doing right now is they're going back and forth with these oh, we're sorry, or we forgive you. They're not signing no treaties, man. They're not trying to give you your land back, man. All right? What they doing, they still lying to you. All right?
Says, for decades he had signed treaties the way he had signed the letter to the governor asking for winter clothing by drawing a simple songbird on parchment. Settlers at Wright's Ferry considered Hayes a great friend. He felt the same about them. When someone had suggested that angry white men someday might come and murder him and his people, Hayes had scoffed. It is impossible, he had said. The English will wrap me in their match coat and secure me from all danger.
Yo, now you see that right there, man? That was a simple-minded nigga, man. All right? That's the same way that the people is in the spirit right now, man. They like, you know what, man? The so-called white man, that's my friend. You know, he feeds me, he clothes me. You know, I got Section 8. You know, I got food stamps. You know, that's the things that they look at. And they be like, oh, he lets me vote. I'm allowed to vote. He lets me work here, you know? But you don't think that he's making laws and signing things into order to put your ass in concentration camps, man, and to put you to death. And to ultimately pledge sole allegiance to him, which is through the RFID microchip, man. All right? But this dude, and that's another reason why they got massacred, man. The Conestogas, man, where we standing at right here, and you still got the same ones that's going for those sorry parties, I'm gonna call them. We're sorry. Oh yeah, we forgive you. I'm sorry. Y'all forgive you. That's all it is, man. It's a bunch of bull crap, man. Cause ain't nothing getting accomplished right there. That's a lot. I'm trying to tell you. Well, I just paraphrase it, you know. Like it says, never trust thine enemy, man. And guess what they was doing? They was trusting the enemy, man. That's Sirach 12 and 10, which we brought that out earlier. But this is a different lesson. We could bring them out over and over, man. Cause that's the only way y'all gonna get it. All right? So guess what? He trusted in his enemy and got his people killed.
It says the Conestogas slept soundly, unsuspectingly, in a continuing snowfall as slender plumes of smoke rose from their fire-warm huts. Neither old Shahays, Kanish, nor any other sleeper was eager to beat the sunrise. First light and the Apache Rangers arrived together at Conestoga town. The Rangers went about their business in a rush. They dismounted, fired their flintlocks at the Indian huts. They rushed inside and tomahawked the survivors. They scalped everyone. Then they looted the huts, lashed the booty to their saddles, and set the building on fire. The entire operation must have consumed only minutes. The Rangers, remounted and energized by the ease of their slaughter, rode rapidly from the village.
Damn. So that's the same thing, as history repeats itself, that's the same thing that's going to happen now, man. Go ahead,
Deuteronomy 32 is 6. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath brought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee the elders, and they will tell thee.
That's right, man. So you're supposed to keep that amongst Israel, man. Right? Not go to other nations asking for help, or thinking that the so-called white man is going to help you. All right? Because look, that's why you got the book of Sirach 12 and 10, right? When it says never trust our enemy, because as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. And what did he do? They trusted in the so-called white man. They writing letters to him, wanting for food and clothing. They had a little shelter. They were so weak they couldn't even get up before the sun. And that was one of the things we did. We got up early, you know, because you had a day planned out for you. So what they do? They starved you. They came in there and they massacred you. And they did it with ease, man. And that's the same thing that they're doing to the people now, man. They got these people blinded, and they got them in such a relaxed state. At least, and then some of them Indians, man, back then, the Native Americans, they knew that the so-called white man was their enemy, man. They wasn't trusting them, but then you had some that was trusting them. And those are the ones that got massacred easily, man. You had Gadites that put up fights, man. You know? And won. Alright? You had Gadites that put up fights and won, man. But what the niggas do now, they want to sit back, relax, you know, and think everything's going to be cool. No, man. Yeah, forget. They talk about forgive and forget. It ain't, the Lord doesn't forget nothing, man. Alright? But it's so easy for y'all to forget, man. Why? Because they'll throw a Floyd Mayweather fight up there, you know? Give you your Roscoe's chicken and waffles or whatever the hell, you know, little restaurants you niggas like to go to, man. You know? But this is Psalms 83, 1 through 3. It says, keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O power, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones, man. So what did they do right there, man? They took crafty counsel, man. And they came and they hated them, so what they do? They smit them to death, man. Alright? They smit them to death, man.
It says the victorious column had traveled only a couple of miles.
Oh, Salaki. And then they bragged about this shit.
It said the victorious column had traveled only a couple of miles when it encountered Thomas Wright, one of the Conestoga's Quaker neighbors. Suspecting the Rangers' mission, but not knowing it had been accomplished, Wright reminded the riders that Pennsylvania's government protected the Conestogas.
See, so
the Rangers.
Go ahead.
It said the Rangers replied that no government should protect Indians.
See that? Now it said the government said that no government shall protect Indians, man. And this is the same government that you guys uphold today, man. Love, man. Run for answers for it. Yeah, that you'll die for. You're getting that army, man. And the so-called Native Americans, which got massacred right here, is your people, man. The same government that said they want to protect them, man. All right, so that's the same government that's how they took this land, and that's how they established this land. All right, that's the same government. They're the same government that's still making the laws now. You look at that. Look at the Houston, Texas thing right now, with the Hurricane Harvey. All right. Look what the Lord is doing down there, and the bushes is from down Texas, man. So Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, what you doing down there right now, man? He jacking up all that land that they stole from us. Guess what's being taken from them, man? It's being destroyed as we speak, man. And the hurricane is so vicious, it went back out on sea and did a U-turn and coming back. Now it's headed for Louisiana as we speak. On this Day of Atonement. So the Lord is amending a lot right now, man. as he always been. And it's only going to get worse, man, for you so-called white people, man. All right? Because your land that you stole from us is being taken by who? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. Why? Because we his people. We're his children. All right? And he thought that you could get away with that and nothing was going to happen, man. You got some more? No, go ahead.
It said, this is a scripture that the guy had quoted, the Paxac quoted. It said Joshua was ordered to drive the heathens out of the land. They said, they asked, do you believe the scriptures? Wright had no ready response, and the ranger left the peace-professing Quaker standing stunned in the snow.
Right. So we're supposed to drive the heathens out the land. When they came over here, what should we have done? Drove them out of the land, man. We should have drove them right out the land, but we didn't. So now look what happened. They overtook them. But you had Gadites that was like, man, I ain't going for that. We going to jack these heathens up, man. But then you had other heathens like that movie Dances with Wolves, man. Nah, Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner. And you had the Gadite. It was one Gadite. He was on the horse. I remember this scene. He was on the horse, and he ain't trust Kevin Costner as far as he could throw him, man. And he wanted to put him to death, man. You know. And he was out there in the snow eating. But then you had the elder of the Gadites. He accepted that dude in, man. You know. And the Gadites, we had a heathen concubine. They had her, and they was raising her. Because why did they have to do that? Because they killed her family, man. In righteousness. So they was raising her, and what Kevin Costner do, you started sleeping with her and all that, man. You know? But they trusted him enough to let him in. What they should have did, dripped the heathen away, man. All right? Because wherever the so-called white, why did the so-called white man want to come here in the first place? Because he jacked Europe up, man. He jacked that whole land up, man. So he defiled it so much, now he's looking for other places to defile. So he came right here to America, man. Right here where we standing, man. Well, this is one of the major places where we standing at, where they put them Indians to death, man. All right?
This is Lamentations 3:10. He was unto me as a bear lion in wait, and as a lion in secret places. He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces.
Yo, that's what the so-called white man did? They stood and waited for us? As a lion, read up from the top, over the side.
He was unto me as a bear lion in wait.
That's right, he was unto him as a bear lion in wait. So what did they do? That's how they ran into that building where the Conestogas was at, and scalped them and put all of them to death. How you think they had the massacre right here? All right? Because they laid in wait. Go ahead.
And as a lion in secret places.
As a lion in secret places, so they was hiding. Go ahead.
He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me into pieces. He hath made me desolate.
That's right. So he pulled him aside from his ways. That's why I said that he wanted to follow the traditions of the so-called white man that killed the Indians right here. Do y'all know that y'all Israelites? Y'all know that the Native American Indians were killed right here? Y'all know that? Those are our people. That's what we out here teaching about. We trying to wake our people up. All right? Yeah. And if you Puerto Rican, you will be an Ephraimite. That's the tribe of Ephraim, which is an Israelite. And that's the child of God. All right? That's the child of God. You Cherokee Indian, who's your father? He's what? Dan Bear. I mean, what's his nationality? Is he Cherokee Indian or will he be? I mean, well, he'd probably be a Cherokee Indian. So, yeah, he would be a Gadite. Yeah, yup, that's right. That's another tribe too, man. That's right. You too. Go ahead,
It says in the course of the
Salah. Oh, Salah. Go ahead. All right, come on. Let's this. Because we don't got that much on. Oh, yeah, that ain't a lot. Go ahead.
He had bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow.
That's right. So he has bent his bow and set him as a mark for the arrow, man. So as a mark for the arrow, that means wherever we was at, that's where he wanted to destroy. What they did, like me and the brother was talking about when we was on our way here to do this lesson. All right, I was about to say camp, but it felt like camp. But we just doing a lesson. But I had addressed well, one was a Gadite, the other one was an Ephraimite, but they all together. And yo, she do look like a Gadite, like how her hair was and everything. The face, yeah, kind of. So and they had no idea that our people got massacred right here. And they walk past this place every single day, man. I guarantee you walk past it every single day. And look how small they put the sign, man. But they as small as they put that sign, but you go anywhere around here, and the signs and the signs, no, they yeah.
I'm saying like right there.
Yeah, but the signs like they have for all the other Edomites, they 3 times the size of that, man. 4 or 5 times the size of that, man. You know?
Yeah, you're trying to make this one like
Yeah, because they don't want people to see it. What it say? The site of Conestoga Indian massacre, December 27, 1763. Salaki, 1763. All right. So that's another way Esau tries to cover up what he's done, man. Like, man, Salaki, before I go off topic, that's why you had when you said the brother was from Louisiana. 12 years ago when they had Hurricane Katrina, he said they heard a big boom. Okay, they heard a big boom, and all of a sudden the flood started coming. So that was concentrated flooding right there. And guess what they flooded? The Israelites, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, that's what they did, man. All right.
It said, in the course of the conversation, the man asked Barber why he and his neighbors allowed Indians to live among them in uncertain times. Barber replied that the Conestogans were peaceful and inoffensive, so the ranger asked what would happen if someone killed these Indians. Barber said he thought the killers would be liable to punishment as if the Indians had been white men. The killer said they believe otherwise.
That's right, man. That's right. And that's where you get to whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, man, which we brought that out earlier too. And they even know that, man. You know, that's why they said what they said, man. All right?